Okay, I'm trying this again. I couldn't put Sarah's full name in, but hopefully that's okay. And so we're here live doing ooh, what? Okay, let me try. The universe is here we go. Accept, accept. Let's hope this works. Okay, let's accept.
Okay, let's see if it can
Okay.
come.
Oh, here we go. We're back. Okay. Technical problems. What's going on today in the sky that there are these technical problems? Let me see.
Yeah, let's look at the
Yeah.
Oh,
calendar.
Mercury's trying the North Node. Maybe that's Mercury and Sagittarius. It's sextile my Uranus, so maybe it's all my problem. I'm turned upside down with Mercury in the sky in Sagittarius, the sign of his detriment, sextiling my Uranus. Okay, so we wanted to talk like people are. Some of us are really down, despondent, wondering where we go from here, trying to understand the time of now. There's a lot of talk. I'm seeing it online about people saying their ballots weren't accepted and that 20 million people less um, than last time. So there's going to be that stuff, but I don't know if it's disinformation or what it is. Yeah.
It
So it's
feels,
a lot
yeah,
of upheaval.
lots of upheaval. I was thinking about the Pluto return moment
Mhm.
and how Pluto just turns shit to fertilizer, and how this feels like this tension feels like a pimple popping in a way. Like this is like really something that needs to be addressed. I don't think it's a total fluke, you know. I think, the United States are very not united and very divided. And this is like really showing us that this is a mirror. This is a mirror of what's going on in the country. And I mean, even if some people's votes weren't counted, a lot of people voted for him. And so,
Mhm.
a lot of people are very happy right now,
Mhm.
too. So, as deep the sadness is on the side of the people who were rooting for Kamala, there is also like half the nation won a race against one another. This feels very Plutonic
Mhm.
for me. It all feels like something. And as we are moving into a new Pluto era of Pluto and Aquarius, it's the Pluto return of the United States. It- you know, this is what needed to happen, obviously,
Mhm.
for it to come up to the surface and to be transformed to fertilizer. So I'm really, seeing it as a symptom of what's going on, and a plutonic symptom, definitely.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a plutonic symptom. It sounds.
No,
You're right. I mean, it's not that. There are two main archetypes, and in the natal chart, depending on which chart you use, of course, I look at the Sibley chart. The United States has Mars and Gemini, and I always go back to that when we're talking about politics in astrology. This country, was not founded during a time when there was going to be a whole lot of peace and unity and everybody thinking the same way and everybody getting on board with one plan, right? Like this united one country united under God. That's not Mars and Gemini. Mars and Gemini is you versus me. It's duality. It's light and dark. And I think that is a useful thing to work through, right? As we're all on our own personal journeys with that. I want to I don't want to tell you guys can tell me to table this, but I want to bring a non-astrological recovery perspective to the
Please
conversation as far.
do whatever
Okay.
perspective
Okay.
possible.
Well, so a lot of you guys know that I'm in the recovery community and I don't drink. And so I don't drink on purpose, and you do that one day at a time. And so that's been a 9-year journey for me thus far. and we do everything one day at a time. And a lot of the times when people are stuck in addictive mentality, whether you're overworking, oversleeping, overdoing anything, working out any aspect of life, a lot of times underneath that, right, the counselor in me will say, underneath that, you are running away from something. And when you stop the drugs, alcohol, TV, numbing of things, you have to sit with your stuff, right? And what I came to realize is that I didn't love the God that was in control of my life at that time. I didn't trust my higher power. I didn't trust that there was a benevolent force behind all of this. It took me a really long time to get to that point. And during that process, I tried to fix, control, manage every aspect of my life to come out exactly how I wanted it to be so that I would feel comfortable and be happy. And I had some women, you know, walking shoulder to shoulder with me that said, life isn't about you feeling comfortable and happy, you know? And so I had to borrow somebody else's higher power to get to the place that I am now. I have a master's in health psychology. I love to talk about the underpinnings. And I know that a lot of you guys are here are looking to us as astrologers for order in the chaos. That's what astrology can do. Um, but there's also a spiritual aspect to astrology, right? Where it doesn't have to just be numbers and lines and statistics and strategies. There's a way to access spirit through your birth chart with your own personal gifts. And I would use this no matter how you're feeling. You know, if you're like Sarah said, if you're on the side of the country that feels like this is a win, I would do a humility check. If you're on the side of the country that feels like this is a personal attack and this is a loss, I would do an inventory. What is my behavior like when I feel wrecked, devastated, like I've beat somebody and won? Who am I really? You know, what is my behavior like to the offender? What is my behavior like to my comrades and my community? Can I not wait to just gossip about all of this and turn it into drama? Or am I trying to take some kind of reflection and higher road? So you guys, my astrology is angled at psychic development and self-development. And so I like did not prepare to say that. I just wanted to bring that to the table.
I I think that is very helpful to remember to take a step back and look at it from a higher perspective. Uh-oh, what happened to Sarah? This is the energy. It's
Yeah.
very chaotic, and there's this Neptunian thing going on as well, and yeah, a lot of
So
disappointment.
Venus, right, Celeste? Venus is coming into square Neptune in a couple of days. And so there is a sense of false hope or false security. There is a sense of feeling impressionable. Venus, you know, our emotions, that heart center, the heart chakra, in a challenging position, right, to Neptune, which dissolves and is very dispersed. Like there's an energy dispersion going on, the mist. And so, yeah, this whole Venus square Neptune on affecting election day hangover. I don't know about you guys, but I stayed up all night and it took me a while to get going this morning. I'm stalling so Sarah can come back. Is she?
Yeah, she's coming back. Here she is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let me push accept again. Yeah. We're having so many problems. It's nice that, okay, I could still feel the joy of life and the friendships and fellowship to help ground me during this time where, yeah, I'm really
Mhm.
it's this morning. Well, last night I knew it was over. It was like, oh my God. I was like, and I'd written, I thought, I never posted, but I thought this election is who are you to the world
Mhm.
looking at who is America? Who are you? And with the Pluto return at the last 29th degree of crisis and decay around these hierarchical structures, I was feeling like it was too weak to hold on and that we were going to have a new way forward. And yeah, I was saying earlier when we were on, Kamala has some great transits. So I'm sure she's devastated, but yeah, she has rock star status and will be okay. But yeah, what about the rest of us? What about everyday people is what I'm women in the country and some of red
And
states
that's
I'm
also
really scared for.
representing right? That Venus Neptune square is also representing women in the country, right? And that sadness. That I wanted to interrupt because Gavlin said that y'all's
Oh,
presence is
oh, good.
appreciated, and I don't know who Glass Galvin it belongs to in our little trifecta, but I wanted to say thank you because we had a moment, the three of us this morning earlier. Is it insensitive to come on? Are we holding space? Is this a helpful thing for you all? So thank you to that person who sees that we're trying to show up for everybody on this, very historical day, very interesting moment in time. So yeah, Venus squaring Neptune, right? It's like we overlooked that. I overlooked that as part of the election hangover. Like.
Well, I wrote, so I do the podcast, and
Mhm.
I wrote the word for the day on Saturday is where Venus squares Neptune is extinguished. So there is this kind of extinguishing of that feeling, that joyful, hopeful energy. But yeah, so this was one of the things I posted I posted the chart of the new moon, which seeded this election. And one of the things was someone put this in the comment about bomb threats.
Mhm.
Uranus was on the seventh house cusp, and the Mars opposite Pluto was going from the Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto from the ninth to the third house. And there were reports of bomb threats that weren't real coming into certain states for
You're right.
from
Yeah.
Russian IPs. So yeah, I said foreign interference may be revealed, and it was, but not enough to stop the I mean, I think America has spoken. This is who they want
And I
to
Exactly.
don't.
represent themselves.
But I don't, Celeste,
Oh,
because I think that yes, maybe America has spoken, but and also I'll say
yes.
we are entering this really strange retrograde period where I believe we will see reversals. And so it's a waste. I'm going to just be straight with you guys because we don't have that long. It's a waste of energy to go through the dramatics around it because there will be a change of news. We've got Mars, then Mercury, and then Venus. And I'm not saying which way it's going to go because I don't know, but there will be some reversals. So please don't get stuck in a
Despair.
deafening like yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Until April when you
until
can.
April, my first thing when I was looking at the astrology is I was thinking like, oh, she should not like this is not done. Remember, I was saying, oh, don't pull an Al Gore. You remember how Al Gore just like called Bush and was like, okay, you won, bye, and just got it to gave it to him, and then there was a recall, and finally, you remember Bush, and so. I was looking at it with all these retrogrades and that it could do a thing like this. I think that the mass amount of the popular vote, though, I hadn't expected such a big, overwhelming turnout for him.
Mhm.
So I think even if we get a recount, even if there might be attempts to do the triple retrograde thing before April, I think it will be confirmed in April that he won. I sent in the chat yesterday this thing of analyzing Trump's um, astrology. This statistical astrologer, Canadian astrologer. His name is Vincent Godbout. He's really, really smart, and he developed a system of calculating importance of transits and giving it a point system. And so basically, it's a data collection and transits. The computer does it all, right? And calculates whether it's a plus or a minus. And he was calculating the day for Trump as being overwhelmingly positive. It's like this is like a once in a lifetime perfect astrology for Trump. And so for all of us that were looking at, both charts, it's true that yeah, look him up. Vincent Godbout, with an
Good
English
luck.
accent. It's a really fascinating method that he developed. He has like a computer program that does it. Um, And so basically he was saying, like, if he compares the two charts, Kamala and Trump, like, it's like it was clear for him. And it was one of the more neutral things that I saw, in fact, of like just calculating who has the better outcome,
For
basically.
just the day. Yeah, I was looking at the secondary progressions and all sorts
Yeah.
of other things in their charts because
Astrologers
he
went
doesn't
nuts.
look like good things are coming. I mean, he's under his chart is under a lot of stress and pressure. Well, he's got these court cases, so maybe that's what that's all about.
So one thing that I want to say, this is somebody, Roz, you asked, this is
Mm-hmm.
not good for the collective. How can we manage through this chaos? So this is chaos that is revealed
Yeah,
today,
Mm-hmm.
but this was always present. This
Mm-hmm.
has always been here. These are not, this is an election, is a revelation of the state of a country. And this country is divided and is split. And so, it was the truth yesterday as well. It was the truth yesterday as well. And it's just a clearing of what is really happening, in the US right now. And so the chaos that you're seeing that is being revealed, and it feels really intense, I think, because collectively the hyped emotions, everybody's feeling so intensely, right? So that we're, of course, we're sensitive people, we react, we feel things, but this is not more true today than it was yesterday, is the truth, you know.
And so, to add to that, what do you do about that? You get to the bottom of what you're afraid of. You get all the way to the bottom of what you personally are afraid of, right? And then you start to develop a relationship with spirit in your way when you're willing to do so. We can't manage this. Therefore, an element of surrender is necessary. So, what are you surrendering to? That's for everybody to decide, and when you want to do that, right? So I have my approach, it works for me, but it didn't for a long time, right? That element of thinking I can control my future, my plans, my safety, astrology in that way was bad for me for a long time because I could look at things and try to predict and control and map and do all the things instead of look up at wonder and look up at possibility and look up at the magical path ahead. So, what do you do with the chaos? Well, you don't take it personally and you get to the bottom of what you are really, really terrified of. Because once you find that, right, then you have some place to grow from. And a lot of times, people, you get to the bottom of it and people are scared of dying. They're scared of death. They're scared of the other side. That's really like, here's your Scorpio friend telling you, right, that there is another side, that there is an afterlife. And once you make peace with that or understand that part, like there's a lot that dissipates. If that's you, anybody out there that's scared of death and dying, the yogis, that's why they practice shavasana. That's why they practice corpse pose. That's why we meditate. That's why we take away from the ego and the self and attach to this personality and these desires, that this person wanted to do. Like, no, there's a surrender to something else that's wanting to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that something else that's wanting to happen, there is a loving, intelligent force behind even this, even now. Always has been. It's our relationship that we're navigating. So as long as you're not trying to control, force, manipulate some outside plan or your agenda or your friends or tell people what to do, and you're looking inside at what you're really, really afraid of, you're going to have some kind of relief, release, assurance. This is a big practice moment in the art of surrender for all of us, for all of us.
yeah. I
And
pulled the hangman this morning as how what like
and
what's the message?
and
How do I go forward? And this is a card of surrender. Yeah.
and I think it's also important that if it makes you realize what you really care about,
Mhm.
if you're offended by this win, it means that something you care deeply for, you feel is being threatened. What is that?
Yes.
If you care so deeply about women's right, about whatever thing you feel Trump is going to rip away from us, right? There's these things that politics will make you realize where your priorities are. What are your, because agendas. A lot of people don't love Trump himself, but they care about something that he's going to give them. And so they're willing. And same for the Democrats. What, you're going to tell me that you love everything about the Democratic Party? No. Nobody loves everything about their candidate, but your candidate represents an issue that you really care about. How can you protect that? How can you defend that? How can you participate in your community, with your neighbors, with your city? If you live in a red state and you're a blue person and you're really scared, what does that mean for the people in your town? What does that mean for the school where your children go to? How can you show what you love, that you love it, by protecting it and nurturing it and fighting for it while you have to defend it and protect it? Because yes, it's true, like for people who care about a lot of issues, it's very scary because we might, some rights might be taken away. So how do we organize to defend these rights? This is valid for all the time. And so I think that a lot of us, we depend on them. Like, we're not in control of the country. Like, it's a fucked up relationship, honestly, with politics, right? Because we're just the people and we try our best, but we don't really have like the person that represents me, Sarah,
Right.
who, know?
So
So
then,
there's,
who do you trust? Not a
I can
person.
trust me.
Yeah.
I can trust me. I trust my friends. I trust Celeste. I trust you. I know that when I get messed up, I'll reach out to my friends. I'll build community. I'll make sure that my friends can reach out to me. And so to not forget that interpersonal relationships is where it's at also, and to really strengthen that. So at the same time that there is like a spiritual surrender, it is what it is. Pluto did the job that Pluto needed to do. America needed this to show up right now. This is this is the vote of America.
It is. And at the Jupiter stationed to go retrograde. So when his planet stations, it's like a branding iron on the Mars of the United States. So magnifying the division
In
in
Gemini.
Gemini, magnifying the division between like the siblings, the North and the South, Democrat, Republican, women, men, all of these things showing people of color, not gay, straight,
I'm glad
all
you
of these
said
divisions.
that, Celeste, because that's that duality piece. And we were talking earlier, if you look at the three retrogrades, Mars coming up December 6th, followed by Mercury, Venus in Aries, still a sign of spiritual warriorship. And Mars in reverse in Cancer. What's the word?
Mm-hmm.
Retrograde. Uh, what I'm seeing is peace in the streets where I live. It's families that are against each other. So Gemini ruling siblings. So I have brother against brother. I have sister against sister in my family. Out there in these streets where I live, of course, there's a similar feeling. So there's not a lot of combative nature where I live. However, what I'm noticing in my own family and in the family of my friends, so you can think about that, right, from this Gemini placement that we're discussing, but also from the Mars retrograde in Cancer, the sign of the family, the sign of going inside, of being internal, of facing things. I talked with one of my family members this morning, and she was like, well, this one canceled this one's vote, and this one canceled this one's vote, and this one can't. And it was all about like who canceled
Yeah.
which I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I know that we're there. That's not the right tone. I'm not trying to misread the room, but that's the astrology in real
Mm-hmm.
life. From
Well,
my
this is something to think about, like, because Thanksgiving's coming
right.
and we're having Mercury will be retrograde during Thanksgiving. And so, really think about, like, is it worth like, some people may just decide to stay home, that they can't engage with certain members of their family because it's going to be, because you can't agree to disagree, or, you just, right now, you need a break, or can't look at them, or what have you. But I think we need to remember, what can we do to not let this tear us apart, as yeah, as much as we may be upset and angry, and yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Because
Because
that's
that's
also like
Trump's
the
job,
language.
is to, his North Node and his Sun is on the Mars of the United States. his job here is to cause division between us, and he's doing it very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just also the language around elections, like you lost.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like shit, it's hard to deal with. You wake up in the morning, it's 5 a.m., you rush to the news. You lost.
Hmm.
Period. That's hard.
uh,
That
Well,
language
I
is
have
hard.
four planets in Libra. So I was telling in our group thread earlier, I was like, I'm very codependent. Like, I want everybody to be happy. This is so difficult to witness, you know? And yes, so some people are saying they can't be neutral. Some people,
Yeah.
Glass Gavlin, I don't know who you are, but I'm liking your comments today.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this person is
Glass
saying,
Gavlin is wonderful. Yeah.
so this
Yeah. Yvonne can't be neutral. It's hard. Like, yeah. It's like some people might just have to say, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. I'll see you next year, maybe.
I have a lot of clients that are moving. I mean, that are literally moving, and that's fine. You know, the one question here I want us. There's two that I want us to try to address, guys. And one is, how
Uh-huh.
do we really heal these divisions? And so my bullet point, Virgo midheaven take, is to heal the division inside yourself. To, if you can't do that, if you don't know where your divisions are, they'll show up for you in the outside world. So if the divisions in the macro will not heal if they're not healed at the micro personal level, right? And the skies will keep showing that to us. So these divisions that we see are our own experience that are out there in your the TV that you're seeing in your real life. How do you heal the divisions within yourself? You have to do a lot of personal work. You have to study yourself. You have to do inventory. You have to commit to something that you're devoted to. I'm happy to work with anybody through the. I have a huge list of inventory questions on my blog. Anybody can do some journaling today. But these divisions, another just like kind of tip is to visualize this double helix DNA as light information from the celestial realms. And you just visualize that coming down, around, and through you, right? And you visualize unity happening in yourself and you define what that means. So, how do we heal these divisions? To me, my answer is going to be at a very personal level. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I think, well, first we have to do the morning. So Pluto in Capricorn at the
Mhm.
29th degree, almost, it's going to move into Aquarius in two
We
weeks.
so
It's
close. So
so
close, Celeste.
close. I mean,
It was
not even 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, if the election had happened 2 weeks later, it may have been a different story. November 19th, Pluto enters
It's the,
Aquarius.
the last hurrah, and we know it's the last hurrah of Pluto and Capricorn. This is the system set system.
The,
Let's
the
do it.
yeah, the patriarchy held. We just gotta realize that what does this bring up in terms of Pluto for each of us in Capricorn? Our deepest fears about what it means for our legacy, those who are not happy with the results. Yeah. What does that bring up within us? And you said this earlier, Tiffany, like what are we projecting on the people who support this man? Yeah. And like you said, it might not be the man that they support. It might be just the values and
The
can we reckon
issue, one
it
issue.
could be one
It's
issue,
always,
yeah,
it's really, we
immigration
all
or
vote for
whatever.
a little issue. One thing that calls us more than another. It's never like your candidate is never your full love story of your life, except me with Bernie Sanders in 2016.
Yeah, I agree. You dark and stormy. Kamala's chart is very strong. It's looking great. She's got Jupiter, her
No,
progress.
it's
Wait,
Trump's.
yeah, her chart is in a much more favorable position, but that might be about her next steps. It's like she's got long-term staying power and success potential. Um,
I don't know.
and
I
yeah,
mean, I saw Uranus going through his 10th house,
yeah,
and that for me, that just did it. I was like, he's got it. And then, but I don't want to say that because I don't want to, like, and so I kept that amongst our private
yeah.
group. And then when we started looking at the states, so I was looking at the states with my boyfriend, and I got hits for each state. And that's when I started realizing, like, how this is going to go.
Mm,
So use your psychic development, use your intuition for your own sense of peace. no matter how it goes, you use like tap into that inside, that inner voice.
And love
The there
your
was
people, love your people. See your friends, reach out to your nieces.
Mhm.
If your niece needs an abortion, you take her, you pay for it. If if this is the time that you're in. If one of the issues that you really love slipped away from your finger, like love on each other. I think it's really important. There's a lot of grief. If your people are in grief, support them through it, be there for them.
But stay
And
present. It ain't over. There's nothing over. There's reversals. Don't freak. This isn't the freak out moment. Have faith in something, and look forward. And there was Kylie Cornett is asking us what's the astrology tea from now to April. Might this be a nice segue to mention that we are going to be giving all the astrology tea for the whole year 2025, and we're going to do this on Monday, and you need to buy a ticket. It's $33. That means you're investing 11, 11, 11 in the three of us who love you and are here for you. And we want you to come. We also did a little preview chat, which you can watch. And we hit on three really important points. So if that's not in your budget, that's not in your time, don't worry about it. And watch our little preview chat. It's on YouTube. We can send you the links, email your astrologer. But we are going to be talking about all of the astrology tea on Monday, this Monday, 11/11. It's our thing. And it's at 2 Central, which makes it noon if you're Celeste side of the
Pacific.
world, Pacific. and, and 3 if you're in Eastern time zone.
3 p.m.
So,
Eastern.
yeah.
Yes, and so we're gonna, because next year is a year of tremendous, tremendous change. But before we get there, between now and April, there are so much retrograde, and retrogrades can bring conflicts and disagreements, reversals, collapse of anything contemplated, and returns to previous situations, which we're having a return potentially with, well, we are having a return to a previous situation
Mhm.
right now. Donald Trump has won the election, but there's Mars is going retrograde. There's a lot happening between, and then all the personal planets are going retrograde. So it's a really great time, like Tiff was saying, to do a personal inventory, really think about, do you want to engage with certain people, or do you just need to pull
there
back
might
because the
be
con
changes in the amendments, you think?
I'm worried about, well, Uranus and Gemini. I'm worried about like what's going to happen. Like Clarence Thomas said, he wanted to get rid of certain amendments.
I
Yeah.
agree with Kristen that Uranus is
Mhm.
Trump and
Yeah.
that's who he is. He has Uranus conjunct Algol on his midheaven right now that did the little nick to his ear, sweet, sweet, and also like really played in his favor.
Yeah.
Revolutionizing again our country in a way. And I mean, we are witnessing and living through very momentous history.
Hmm.
Um, when were we not? This is us. Hi, we're humanity. It's what we do. We've been doing this since we came here. We're wow. This is yeah. This ride here is not for the faint of heart, and we,
No, not. It's hard. This is hard work. This is yeah. Mm. Oh, last night Kelly said the high priestess and justice flew out together. Oh, wow. Interesting. So justice in some way will still be served. Mm. Oh. We will see what, yeah, we will see what happens. Yeah, but
I
next
just heard.
year, I think
Go ahead,
using the
Celeste. Sorry.
energy to our benefit,
Yeah.
because there's so much change coming, and how can we harness it on a personal level despite what's going on the level
yeah.
of the government?
Some of us thought that, that it might be a celebration for people, that you would wake up this morning and celebrate, and it was going to be very big to have a first Black woman, first South Asian. So for a lot of people with these identities, like she really felt like you know, a possibility, something positive, new. And so there is disappointment. How do we deal with disappointment? You know, I think that's what Tiff was talking to. Any disappointment, anything, you know. But this is a revelation. An election is a revelation. It's, you know, it's not from nowhere. This didn't come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It came from this context, like Kamla said, actually, right? She said, "You, what do you think? You fell off the coconut tree?
Yeah.
You didn't fall. You exist within a context of everything that came before you,"
Yeah.
is her quote. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
We are in this moment because of what happened before, and it's the perfect moment to usher what is to happen. And so this, you know, this is where we are. And so be sad today, tend to each other, love on your people. um, don't give up on your hope, and build the country you want to see. Yeah.
Pray for the
Yeah.
water. It's like Sarah mentioned this. I mean, this kind of came up weird, but this is all of our ideas. I'm trying to distill water word. Pray over the water. Look up the work of Masuro Emoto if you haven't already, and affect the waterways with peace. You know, with love, with whatever. That is a tangible thing you can do today. Put your hands up. Visualize the golden white light coming down around and through you. Be a conduit and pray over your waterways where you live. You know, pray peace into your waterways, pray love into it. I have to go. So
Oh yeah.
sorry. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's like I feel weird about being so happy to hang out with you guys on a day when everybody's grieving. So I'm sorry if my countenance is a little too cheery for the tone, but I love you
Well, you're a
guys.
Sagittarius rising. You're
That's
we
also
need that
your role.
energy
That's
of
also your role in the
positivity
trifecta.
despite the I love how I have the Sag rising and the Capricorn rising here to help us through this. And I'm the
Mhm.
Cancer rising. Like I'm shell shocked
Yeah.
still. So but this too shall pass.
This too shall
Yeah.
pass, and it's gonna change. So that's, I think it's like, if you could get, okay, here's my last tidbit is, if you get to what you're afraid of, do the if then journal, the if then process.
Yeah.
So if this happens, if he, if she, if whatever, then what does that mean? Take that sentence. Okay, if that happens, this law gets changed, then what? And get down, all the way down. This is such a Plutonic activity, right? Get the subconscious out, throw it up, puke it up, vomit it up. Don't hold your vomit in. Get it out, share it with somebody that loves you. And, you know, that just start that healing process on the inside. So I'll see you guys on Monday. I
Yes.
know all of y'all that are here are going to be with us. We are going to give it to you straight. And I get to do the eclipse portion, which I was intimidated about because Celeste is the eclipse queen professional, but she gave me the speaking wand for that little moment. I'm going to do you proud, and I'll see you guys Monday.
It
Okay.
sounds good, Tiff. Yeah, I'm gonna do retrogrades, and Sarah, you're doing the outer planet
The
changes,
outer
right?
planets. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we're gonna give you
Yeah.
hard predictions. And I posted, and you guys can add it to your walls if you want. I went through what we did in 2024, and I posted on my wall all the predictions we made and how they turned out. So yeah. So we'll see you Monday. You can go to the link in my bio and see, or any of our. I'm sure we all
Mhm.
have the link to join the workshop on Sunday to talk about 2025. Where do we go from here? Okay, sending love and light to everyone.
Good
Keep
luck,
hope
everybody. Don't
alive.
despair.
Yeah, mourn, take your time to heal, and then keep hope alive. Take good care.
Mwah.